The Warriors general manager, or the president, says Kevin Durant has not committed to re-signing in 2017. That's what I meant when I said that the greatest team of all time may have a shelf life. Is it possible that after all of this, Kevin Durant could actually change teams again next year? Will?
I'd like to give you the respect of answering your question just the way you framed it. So you saw Dumb and Dumber.
Yes.
You saw the scene where he said, so you're telling me there's a chance.
Right.
You said, is it possible? The answer is yes, clearly. It's possible. It's highly, highly, highly improbable. All my money, all of it, is on Kevin Durant being a Warrior for the foreseeable future, and that's beyond a year.
Kate?
Yeah, to me, it's less than improbable that KD leaves Golden State, only because of the nature of what he just went through in the free agency market. I think it did take a toll on him, and I think any student athlete who's even decided among what college to go to understands what it's like to be courted and then have to reject a number of people and pick something. You don't want to have to go through that on a yearly basis. And even if this situation with Golden State this year goes off the rails because there's so much talent on one team and they can't corral it in time, I think then he's obligated to give it a second year.
You know, I'd like to pick this up again at the top of the next hour, but I think the bottom line of it is that Kevin Durant has been not only one of the most respected players in the league, but one of the most beloved. And now that role is going to change. He has become the villain, as they joked around about at the ESPYs. And that is a role that I don't think LeBron James ever embraced, liked, or felt comfortable in. And I think Kevin Durant, will have to see how he feels about it. We'll continue that discussion next. Here's where I think the line of delineation is going to come for KD. And that is when LeBron went to Miami, I'm not going to make a total excuse for his performance in the fourth quarters of the 2011 NBA Finals against the Dallas Mavericks. But I do think part of the narrative of that season was that LeBron was just not a person and is not a person comfortable in the villain's role. I think that what eventually happened, even in Miami, and then certainly went over the top with his return to Cleveland, was that his intrinsic likability. LeBron, there are some people who don't like him, but by and large, I think LeBron is a good guy, and I think that comes through. And he won many, if not most people, back over to his side, even in Miami. I think Durant has a chance to do the same thing. The whole world hates Kevin Durant right now for this decision. But Kevin Durant is a good guy. I think, generally speaking, everyone likes him, and maybe he wins everyone back over. If he doesn't, I think that his decision to stay long-term in Golden State may very well hinge on just how comfortable he is in the role of being the guy everybody hates.
I also think that we are not quite at a point yet where we can say who Kevin Durant really is or wants to be, because we've seen some dramatic shifts from him from year to year since he's been in the NBA. Like for the first 6 or 7 years, we all thought, and I think it was a product of playing in Oklahoma City and being in that small market, and I think we all thought, oh, here's a guy, he's just so likable, he's so nice. Will and I have talked about this. Then he gives the MVP speech, and that was the whole storyline around him. And yet, somewhere along the way, he wanted to rewrite that. And he started taking shots at the media. He did a bunch of pieces, one with Players Tribune, where he wanted to make clear whoever he had become, the persona, wasn't necessarily him. And so I'm not quite even sure yet that I'm in a place where I'm like, maybe he does embrace the villain's role. I think we think of KD as this guy who wants to be liked because that's what I think we projected onto him. He hasn't seemed to necessarily embrace who we said he was, so maybe he's different than LeBron.
He's done everything in his power to reduce his likability over the last, say, 5 years. You're exactly
Almost
right.
purposefully,
we projected that
seems.
onto him. We made him likable. I mean, I think he is likable. I like him. I went to Texas, so I'm a Longhorn. He's a Longhorn, so all my instincts lead me towards Kevin Durant. But maybe it's the villain he actually wants to be, Greeny. Maybe that is a role he's ready to embrace because he's certainly given us every indication he's not afraid of it.